So about Drake, let's start off. Iceman was for me a 2 point. I wouldn't even say not a 2 point, a 3.5. It was a solid album. The other two, you can't pay me to listen to, and no one would. Iceman was cool, but this is the thing about Drake, bro. Drake is better corny. All of that singing is too much. He sings so much now, and he's been doing it for a while. He's been just messing up his catalog. He's been singing so much now. I think he really thinks he is a singer, like an actual singer, and he's actually not. Being corny works better for him. It doesn't matter how many beards he grows, how long that shit gets, no matter how thick that shit gets, how many cornrows he puts in his head. He's always gonna be corny. And that's just what it is. If you think back to the beginning of his career, that's exactly why we like Drake, because he was corny. He was talking about his feelings, but he was also stupid on the mic. Like Drake could slide on the mic. These three albums sounded like, especially the last two, like it sounded like it sounded like his ghostwriters quit on him. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like his ghostwriters quit on him. Every song he sang on Iceman, I just skipped it. I don't wanna hear that shit. I don't wanna hear you singing. You don't want it. Like, nobody wants to hear you sing. Nobody asked for you to sing, bro. And you didn't go as hard on niggas as you should have. He did not go hard on people as he should have. Like, they called you the worst thing they could call you, and all you came back with was that. Solid. And far as numbers, if we talking straight business, Drake is outdoing every rapper you could think of right now, including Kendrick, yes. Numbers wise, Drake doesn't have to buy anybody. Drake doesn't have to actually have like a huge rollout. Like, he could drop something tomorrow and it'd be cool. Like, Drake doesn't have to really do anything. I think the second rapper that actually does pretty well just dropping things is J. Cole. But Drake, far as numbers, like, you're not gonna be able to talk about the music business without talking about Drake. When we talking about rap, when we talking about hip hop, you can definitely talk about hip hop without talking about Drake. I don't think Drake is in anybody's top 10. Obviously, he is in somebody's top 10, and I just have no faith in you. Okay? And these three albums shows that. Like, you should have slid on the first album. You came out the gate swinging. You came out the gate singing and moaning on songs and talking about the goddamn Circle K. We don't care about the goddamn Circle K. Okay? It's just ridiculous. You're not rolling around with your hitters and your shotters. You're not about that life. You're not from that. And it shows every time. I think Drake is the only one that believes this about himself at this point. It's past delusion. You can team up and group up with as many guys as who are really in the streets as he wants to, but he'll always be looked at as corny. And honestly, that makes him cornier. We like Drake because of his lyricism and the fact that he was corny and the fact that he sometimes sang. Now he's doing it all the time. He really thinks he's a gangster, and it just doesn't work for his image at all. It doesn't work for the hip hop conversation. And he's not a part of the hip hop conversation in the way he would like to be a part of it and be respected for it, because first of all, he's not even from here. You don't even go here. Where hip hop was birthed and created, you're not from that vein, lane, that blood, that sacrifice, that momentum, that energy, that grit. You're just not. And he'll never be respected in that certain space. And it's annoying, I'm pretty sure, for him, but it just is what it is. Hip hop just doesn't respect that corny shit. Now, when it comes to Drake, it's like you have teamed up with people, collab with people, but you also stole like artists' whole sound. Like one artist in particular, right? He's deceased now, but you stole dude's whole sound, whole momentum, whole everything. People never gonna forget that. I'm never gonna forget that because I was a huge fan of XXXTentacion. Rest in peace. But it's just like some artists, you just stole completely their whole style and whole flow and thought people wasn't gonna notice and people wasn't gonna catch on to that. So he's done some things where it's like, you want to act like this hood guy, but then the decisions you make, especially the business choices you make, which is do what you got to do, it's business is business, are very much so preppy, schoolboyish. And when you see fit, you pull out the Drew card. You definitely do. And it's just like, yeah, go back home to mommy's bed. Go cuddle with your mom, bro. Because you're just not about that life. And there's no shame in it. Once again, we like Drake because he didn't come from that, because he was corny, because he was actually leaning into the fact of who he was and how he was, right? But Iceman just uh sounded like his ghostwriters quit on him. So, and then he took some jabs, but the jabs were like light touches. You know, we're not making up with the ops. We're not showing no mercy to the ops, man. But he proved the damn thing with his numbers. As far as the numbers games, once again, you're not gonna ever get Drake out of that conversation. But the albums were mid. They were definitely mid. It was not 100% going hard. He just didn't do it. He just did not do it. And I was expecting so much more. I was ready. You know, I don't think he's had a dope ass album since So Far Gone. Since in my opinion, since If You're Reading This It's Too Late. That was the last time I listened to Drake and was like, ugh, yeah, he slid on that. But these albums he's released over the past, I would say 8 years, 9 years, maybe even 10 at this point, maybe. I'm not super sure, have really diluted his discography. It's diluted the fact that you forget that he Drake. You forget that Thank Me Now. You forget that Take Care, right? Take Care was a classic. Take Care is a classic. I think Thank Me Now is a classic. But Take Care is a classic. You can't skip nothing on there. The production on Iceman was not good. And the snippets of the songs I listened to on the other two albums were trash. Like, what is this? What is this island accent? It's trash. Like, no. So these albums definitely didn't prove, as far as lyricism, as far as the technicality, as far as the art itself. Forget the numbers. As far as the art itself, these three albums did not prove anything. It did not show and prove. It did not show up. It just didn't. It fell flat. It fell flat ultimately, honestly. So that's my take on it. And drop your comments down below. This is my hot take about Drake.